Hello everyone, I'm very happy to introduce you to my Werebear build Druid on Diablo 4. It's a very tanky and powerful build which allows you to farm in T4 even if you have 12 levels below. I'll explain you everything to make it work and then you'll be able to do what you want in the game. If you wish to know how to get easily ancestral items, I put the link below the video. There's a few tips and it's quite easy to get them even if you don't have the levels that you need. Let's start with the gear and the skill, and we'll be playing Maul in order to get resource and Pulverize, our main DPS spell. We'll also give him plenty of buffies with our legendary powers. After that you have the Roar in order to debuff enemies and heal yourself, and also the Trample. I'm not a very big fan of this spell, but we have a very good synergy with one of our legendary power. Then the ultimate in order to be unstoppable, and our defensive spell, the Bulwark. For the powers you want damage reduction with basic attack, and this one harder to find, but it will grant you +2 to your Werebear skill, so very important to have this one. Then we have our first boost to Pulverize. It will make a huge wave to enemies and help you to clear faster. Then you have the life, and this one granting you +2 to Earth skill. It's very important to combine this legendary power with this one because Pulverize will now be an Earth skill. That's why you'll get the +2 also from this legendary power when you are 45. Will always be under 45, so it will be +2 from this one and +2 from here. After that you have this legendary power which is very important. It will grant you spirit when you CC an enemy. So it will work on this one, it will work on this, and especially on the Trample. If you trample into a line of enemies, you'll almost get full spirit. For this one, it's just when you activate your ultimate, it will knock back enemies and also grant you spirit. For Pulverize, it's when you overpower with it, it will also stun enemies. You also have increased damage if you stay still. It's important because here I'm at about 8000 attack power, and when I move I'm at 6000. So you basically gain 2000 attack power just with this legendary power. Of course the build is quite tanky, so you won't have any issue staying still. Lastly, this one will increase damage to stun enemies, so it's still nice to have it. For the gems you want rubies in order to boost your overpower damage, and for the gear also rubies in order to boost your maximum life. You also want diamonds in the accessory, except if you need a particular resistance. Now for the boon you want the damage reduction, increase critical chance, increase life, and here you want to have some spirit on a lucky hit. Lastly, healing on critics or this one, but you need to kill 20 enemies, so it's a bit long to trigger this boon. For the skill tree, don't forget that you have the leveling pass just below the video in order for you if you want to start with this build at level 1. This setup is only if you are level 50 and more with the right legendary powers. So you want to get more with the increased range, it will be easier to attack enemies, even if that one can be cool, you'll need this range. Then you want the Pulverize with the fact that it will stun enemies on overpower hit, critical chance, and damage reduction for the Werebear. Then our defensive spell with the Fortify, and the Roar with the healing just here. You also want these passives in order to boost your defense. A bit below the Trample, be careful, just 1 point on it, my points come from my stuff, and the fact that it will fortify. You also want additional healing, and this one to grant you overpower. You have the Airsun passive which will be very good with Pulverize, especially those two, and you can also take this one in order to gain Fortify. Then you have increased damage to Elite since Pulverize is still an Earth skill, and you want to get this, it will reduce the control duration. As will be 45, you'll have a 27% of reduced control duration. Lastly, you want to get the Earthing Strength in order to have more damage. For the Paragon, you first want to reach this legendary node. It will increase the damage that you did in function of the life of your enemy. It also takes into account your life, so make sure to always be at full life. You have 3 glyphs which are very interesting. First one, it will increase your damage when you're in a Werebear, and this one will increase damage to close enemy. So it's still level 1, but the good thing is that it will boost magical nodes nearby, so that's why you have this one, this one, this one, this one, and so on. So it's interesting to put this glyph just here. The third one, the Dominate, in order to boost your overpower damage. For the gameplay, I was in a particular dungeon, so it was in Torment Tier at the breakpoint 21, and the thing is that ranged enemies with each attack burn your spirit. Without the setup that I mentioned before, it's impossible to do this kind of dungeon. So that's why I chose this one. It's important for you to see that even in the hardest condition, you'll still be able to quickly clear enemies and bosses, even if once again you are very below the level of the monsters. So you have the trample to generate essence, your roar if you are in trouble, and your ultimate to be unstoppable. Also, you can use the bulwark when you need. Otherwise, it's easy, just spam your pulverization in order to melt enemies. If everything is in cooldown and that you need spirit, you can start spamming your auto attack. Don't forget that it grants you damage reduction, so you can also use your basic attack every 3 or 4 seconds if you want this permanent damage reduction buff. This build is great in solo or in party, and you can tank of course what you want with your group. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you'll have plenty of fun with our Werebear, and if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments.